Let me tell you a story. The story of the Legend of Zelda: Skyward Sword. There once was a girl named Zelda. One day, when she was flying through the clouds, she got swept away from her home by a tornado. She landed on the surface. When Zelda awoke on the surface, she was approached by an old woman. This woman instructed Zelda to go to the springs to cleanse her soul. After several of these rituals, Zelda learned that she was the goddess Hylia in a mortal form. She blesses the Master Sword and seals herself away in an attempt to hold back the darkness long enough for the hero to collect the Triforce and defeat the darkness once and for all. And a bunch of stuff happens, and they win! Yay! Wasn't that a great story? I like it so much, I think I'm gonna tell another one. This is the story of The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, or at least the one 100 years before Breath of the Wild happens. There is a princess named Zelda. She's related to the other Zelda. She attempts to awaken Hylia's power within her, but is not successful. And then this happens. Now, I think I speak for everyone when I say, what the fuck? Alright, story time is over because I have a lot of questions. And I can go on all day about these questions, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to ask this one question. Why was Hylia's power represented by the Triforce? First, let's look at Hylia's explanation of the Triforce. You see, the mark of the Triforce on your hand is the symbol of the greatest power in this world. If you can obtain the actual Triforce, you will have the power to vanquish demise once and for all. The problem is, among the countless souls in the world, only a select few, those with an unbreakable spirit, can wield its might. It's impossible to know the true reason why the gods created the Triforce. I have a theory of my own. The gods created the Triforce, yet they specifically designed it so that their own kind could never use its power. Somehow, I think this may have been their way of giving hope to all the mortal beings of the land. Which brings us back to you. Guys, do you hear what she's saying? She's saying that a god cannot use the Triforce, and she is a god, which means the power that Zelda awakened in Breath of the Wild never belonged to Hylia. So why didn't Hylia's power awaken within Zelda? Zelda of the Wild spent 10 years trying to awaken this power, while Zelda of the Skies awoken it in a matter of days. So, what is different about Zelda of the Wild's training versus Zelda of the Skies? At first, I thought it was because Zelda of the Skies had a teacher, while Zelda of the Wild did not. But Zelda of Time quickly rules out that theory. In Ocarina of Time, we do see Hylia's power. They just don't refer to it as Hylia's power, they refer to it as the power of the seventh sage. And although we never actually see or hear anything about the Queen in this game, we can assume that Zelda has not started her training when we first meet her, and started her training somewhere in the 7-year time gap. And then I remembered that Impa told Link that part of Zelda's training was cleansing Zelda's soul. In Skyward Sword, Zelda has a clear, concentrated goal and instructions, and is eventually successful in cleansing her soul and awakening her power. In Breath of the Wild, Zelda has a goal, but she doesn't really know how to get to it. She doesn't really have any clear instructions, so she's doing the only thing she knows, and asking for power as opposed to cleansing her soul. And now, before you say it, I already did point out that Zelda of Time does not really have a teacher, but she had more instruction than Zelda of the Wild because she had Impa, and Impa likely knew the royal family for a long time, and more than likely knew Zelda's mother, and was probably able to pass on some information to Zelda about how to awaken her inner power. And the Sheikah were probably forbidden to pass on this knowledge because of the Sheikah Schism. But overall, I think it's a good thing that Breath of the Wild Zelda never awakened her power, because if she had awakened her sealing power, then she likely would never have awakened the Triforce sleeping within her. And let's just say that the Triforce is a lot more powerful than any sage or mortal goddess powers. But ultimately, this is for you guys to decide. That's what I love about Zelda games, is because they leave so many holes in their stories that it requires us as players to fill it in. That's all for today, guys. I hope you enjoy this video. This is actually a video I've been wanting to make for a very long time, so I hope you guys enjoyed it, and let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Have an amazing day.